everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, my name is Meg and I make videos all about sustainable, minimalist, frugal, plant-based, plastic-free, natural living. So today I wanted to share with you a video that kind of sums up everything that I've discussed already in my videos so far, and that is my top 10 easiest ways to be more sustainable. So if you are struggling or wondering how to implement easy small changes that could help you to live more sustainably, then hopefully this video is for you and I hope that you find it useful. So let's get right into it. Okay, so my number one top way that I would suggest to be more sustainable is to eat more plant-based. Now, obviously the name of my channel is Red Curl Vegan. I'm obviously vegan, but I also want my channel to be open to all sorts of different dietary preferences or lifestyles. I don't just want to only make it accessible to people who are vegan. I know that some people are struggling to know how to cut down on their meat and dairy consumption, for example. And so, like I say, I want my channel to be open to all sorts of different lifestyle and dietary preferences. I don't actually like the word diet, but I think it can create a negative association with food. However, like I say, I want my channel to be open to everybody. So if you are already vegan, like myself, then this point doesn't really apply to you. But if you're trying to cut down on your meat and dairy consumption, or you're trying to incorporate more plant-based meals into your daily lifestyle, then my first tip would be to try and eat more plant-based. So there is a ton of research online. I won't go into depth about it, how meat and dairy and the fishing and the egg industry all have hugely negative impacts on the planet, hugely negative. They also have a negative impact on our health, and obviously the main reason being, for me personally, the animals. But in this video, in terms of sustainability, that would be my number one tip for you, would be to try and incorporate more plant-based eating into your daily lifestyle. I'm hoping to upload more food and recipe videos as I go along and as I get more confident on camera, so I'm hoping to share more of those with you so that you can see how easy it really is. So yeah, that would be my number one. Try to incorporate more plant-based eating into your daily lifestyle. Okay, so my second tip for being more sustainable, and of course these are all things that I have done myself, that I've had to learn along the way. It's not an overnight kind of change, it is a progressive learning curve. So my number two would be to make your own cleaning products. Now, I've made a previous video on the 10 things that I use to clean my home naturally, so go and check that one out. I'll pop a link for that one up above. So yeah, my second biggest sustainable tip, I think, would be to make your own cleaning products. I won't ramble into it too much because I've made previous videos on that, like I say, but yeah, try to avoid commercial, harmful, toxic, conventional products that come in plastic. They're harmful to the environment, they're harmful when we breathe them in, they're not great for the surfaces in our house either, to be honest. So I share in other videos how I make my own cleaning spray and how I use reusable cleaning cloths that I've kind of made myself, if that makes sense. So yeah, that would be my second tip. Try to make your own natural cleaning products. Okay, so number three, fairly obvious one, but that would be to try and walk wherever possible, or cycle, or run. I'm not a runner personally, but yeah, just try to avoid using your car. Obviously, if you don't own one, then you're already ahead of us. But yeah, try to avoid using your car as much as possible. Obviously, this isn't always possible. Public transport is slightly better, but wherever you can, try to walk or cycle. This is better for our health, obviously. It's good for us to try and move as much as possible, and it's obviously zero impact on the planet. And yeah, so I would suggest to walk wherever possible and get some exercise in at the same time. So number four, I would say, would be to try to avoid food waste wherever possible. This kind of also involves buying loose and trying to meal plan and meal prep. I've made a video on this again previously. I'll pop a link up for that one above. So yeah, try to avoid food waste. This is a really good way to be more sustainable. Also better for our what am I trying to say? Our bank accounts, our purses, our pockets. So yeah, it's just better for our budgets, and inevitably avoiding food waste wherever possible is a great way to be less impactful on the planet, on the environment, and in general in society, I think. So yeah, cooking from scratch, for example, meal planning, batch cooking, all that kind of good stuff. And also, I'm a big fan of reduced price shopping, so yellow label, yellow sticker shopping. I've made a video on this previously that seemed to be quite popular, so I hope this was helpful to people. And yes, I've mentioned it in lots of videos before. There are, I know, so there is possibly some controversy to buying reduced, because I buy from a supermarket chain and also the products come packaged in plastic. But without going into too much detail, I find that this is a really good way to make your money stretch further, and also a lot of that food ends up in the bin. And yes, I would always advocate to buy loose, but try and reduce food waste by potentially buying from the reduced aisle is a really great way to do this. Try to use up any leftover food that you have. So yeah, that would be in at number 5. Okay, so number 5 will be buying natural products in recyclable packaging. I've mentioned many a time in the past how I buy my beauty or my toiletries or my sanitary products in, so no, not sanitary products, but my toiletries in recyclable packaging, so either in glass or in cardboard. That's a really good way to be more sustainable. So I, for example, buy my argan oil in glass, and I buy my deodorant in cardboard, for example. So yeah, that would, without going into too much detail, because I've mentioned this in previous videos, that would be in at number 5. Try to buy natural products in recyclable packaging, so avoiding plastic. Okay, so number 6, my 6th tip, oh, that's a bit difficult to say, to try to be more sustainable would be to try to only buy what you really need and attempt to avoid overconsumption wherever possible. So this is basically touching upon a video that I made in the past about minimalism slightly, where you are making do with what you already have and learning to live with less. So this doesn't mean deprive yourself, this doesn't mean get rid of everything that you own, of course. It just means if you have something already that you've acquired previously in your home that could serve the same purpose potentially as something that you're considering buying, and if you could use that instead to avoid bringing something new into your home, then this is a really good way to be more sustainable. Also, buying secondhand or pre-loved or from charity shops and things like that is another good way. So yeah, just to generally try to really look at what you already have, and when you are about to purchase something, think to yourself, is there something I already have that could do this job instead, or that could be versatile and could save you purchasing something extra. Okay, so in at number 7, I would say to try to support local, ethical, sustainable, independent brands and companies more. Now, I do shop in Tesco's, and I always want my videos to come across, or to truly represent me as a person, so not come across, just to be very true to myself. And I have admitted that that is where I do my main grocery shopping. It's not a necessarily very ethical or sustainable brand, and I am aware, or company, and I'm aware of this, and I'm doing my best to move away from them. But I think it's important, and I've said this in the past as well, not to give ourselves too much of a hard time. Wherever you can though, if you can support local, independent businesses and brands instead of mass super chains, then that's always better. But also don't give yourself a hard time if this isn't available to you, because it isn't always available. So just try to do your best wherever you can to support local independent businesses. Okay, so in at number 8, it's kind of touched on this one in a previous point, and that would be to cook from scratch and to buy loose wherever possible. Kind of also relates to the point I've just mentioned about buying from independent local businesses. A lot of the time, these more ethical, more sustainable companies will sell their products loose or in recyclable, sustainable packaging. So yeah, this kind of does overlap 2 previous points, but try to cook from scratch and try to buy loose wherever you can. So this can be fruit or vegetables or anything really that you can acquire package free. And again, this isn't always possible. Don't give yourself a super hard time, but just things like avoiding ready meals and avoiding, I don't know, say for example, fruits and vegetables in plastic, wherever you can. This is a great way to be more sustainable. Okay, so number 9 is a fairly obvious one, kind of again relates to a point I've just mentioned, which is avoiding single-use disposable plastic or non-plastic items. So anything that is single-use and cannot be reused or washed, for example, and particularly single-use plastic items, even worse, they are things to try and avoid as much as possible if we want to live more sustainably. Again, not always possible, but try to try to take your own reusable or stainless steel or glass, however you prefer, water bottle out with you, for example. Try to use reusable grocery bags. Try to, I guess another one in this point could be the example of sanitary or reusable period wear. So disposable tampons and sanitary pads are dreadful for the environment. They're also not very good for us either. I've mentioned this in a previous video. I will link that one up above for you. So just things like using reusable period pants or menstrual cups or washable period pads, anything basically where you can reuse it and it's going to last a lot longer and avoid being thrown away after just one use, particularly plastic items. So yeah, in at number 9, try to avoid single-use disposable plastic or even non-plastic items wherever you can. Okay, and so finally, in at number 10, to round this video off would be to just be more energy conscious. I think this is a great way for us to try to live more sustainable lives. I've mentioned this in a previous video. Again, I'll link that up above because I can't remember the title of it, but I've mentioned a lot in the past. I've done multiple videos on zero waste hacks, simple little things that you can do around the house that I really hope that you have found useful. And that's how I'm going to end this video, is just by saying to try to be more energy conscious. So anytime you're about to consume any sort of energy, be it electric, water, fuel, just any consumption of energy, just try to be more aware of that. Try to, I won't go into too much detail because I have mentioned this already in the past, but unplugging things that have finished charging, turning things off that aren't being used, not leaving water running unnecessarily, things like that. So there you have it. There were my top 10 easy tips and ideas that hopefully can help you to be more sustainable and live a more sustainable lifestyle. If you're either struggling or you don't really know where to start, it can be really overwhelming, and please bear in mind that this isn't something necessarily that changes overnight. None of us are perfect, and I have only really been being more aware of these things in the last couple of years, and obviously as time goes on I feel that I get better and better at it. So I hope that you find this video helpful. As always, thank you so much for watching, and please go head over to Facebook and check out my new page. It's full of small everyday things to kind of share with you what I like to do in everyday life when I'm not making a video. And so yeah, go and check that out on Facebook, Red Curl Vegan, of course. As always, I am so grateful for your support. If you please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you found it helpful. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. I will get my words out in a minute. And yeah, it helps me to grow my confidence and grow my channel. I'm always really appreciative. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe. Bye.